Belichick and all that.
I told them, I sent an email to the Cleveland Browns front office and said, you called Dylan the supercomputer. That's taste infringement. The first and only supercomputer,
No doubt,
is Bernie Kosar. Understand this, people. Bernie Kosar called his own plays. Understand how crazy that is. That means protection schemes. That means he was almost like a catcher. I'm gonna call what I feel like and get in the flow. How does that even work, man? That'll never happen again.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is amazing. In my opinion,
serious clout to do that.
Super clout.
In my opinion, the organization really hasn't done right by him over the years, but I guess that's another story. For
even Patrick Mahomes
get well, Bernie,
is still doing the hand thing plays because he don't get to call his own stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bernie.
All right, Mike.
You guys have Zach. Ask away.
Oh yeah. That's right. I was like, we just did a read.
Zach, what was your thoughts after the Jets loss?
Is that a new low? A new
in a way, right? Look, there were some offensive improvements, which kind of sums it all up.
Yeah.
Right? Like I thought the new play caller injected a little bit of life. The rollouts gave the quarterback a little bit of a chance, right? They mixed some things up, but the same story. 95-yard drive, super impressive. Punt right after.
Right.
You know, opportunities to get more, they miss. And then on 4th and 1, what is going on there? Right? Like he's got to get rid. It reminded me of last year on 4th down in Las Vegas. You got to throw up. You got to give the guy a chance. Right? It's 4th down. What's the worst that's going to happen?
That's right.
And then they should have gotten the ball back, but we all know it probably wasn't going anywhere. But it was just a bad football game. And so is that bottom when you give up 2 returns in the same quarter, and when you're jumping off sides when they're not running a play, when you're picking up defensive holding when there's no way in the world that they're throwing that ball. Like that's just bad football, and that's how you lose. The Jets were bad in person. The Jets defense was as bad as Cincinnati's, just so slow, so out of place. The Browns got 20 points. Man. I know bad ball, Titus.
Yeah,
you gotta put it like
you are the aficionado of bad ball.
So me and G was looking at some stuff yesterday, and we was looking at it was a play where that 4th and 1 play. Do you think that the height thing is just? Do you think it's the height? Because I'm like. He should have anticipation on David Njoku. Even if not, he should be able to scan back and see Cedric Tillman. Do you think it's the height, or do you think he just don't have the anticipation?
I do think there are times that the height does come into play. But I think on this one, he looked the wrong way. He made the wrong hot read. He was supposed to look this way. The blitz came. I think Joel Bitonio said it, and Dylan kind of said it himself after the game. That they anticipated the blitz, and when they saw it coming, he looked the wrong way, ended up having to tuck it in and get sacked for the 6th time.
Yeah, man, because he's not a good quarterback, man. The dude is not a good quarterback, man. You know, it's sad when you watching us play out, and it don't take all these games for you to see with an eye test that this guy doesn't have what it takes to be a quarterback in the NFL. He doesn't have what it takes to be a quarterback in the NFL. And it's not just because he's short. It's because he doesn't have the talent. You see, oftentimes when you hear a lot of these, and it's a lot of these white commentators that's hyping him up. Because what they want to see is a white quarterback thrive on the Cleveland Browns. What some of them don't want to see, and not all white commentators, not all white podcasters and things of that nature, but what they don't want to see is a black, confident man that has the talent, that has the swag, that has the confidence to go out there and perform at a high level and can be a winner as the starting quarterback for an NFL organization. They don't want to see that. Some of them, not all of them, they don't want to see that. And that's the sad commentary when it comes to when you see things like this, you're just blatant with it with disrespect. And it's common sense. It's common sense. It's not even that deep. You can see it clear as day. the way they treated Shedeur Sanders, where he did get drafted first round, second round, third round, fourth round, and went all the way to the fifth round, man, we know what this is, man. Don't play with our intelligence. We as black people know what they did to Shedeur Sanders. Let me say this again. I didn't stutter. We as black people know what they did to Shedeur Sanders. There should be an investigation out on the NFL of collusion on what they did to Shedeur Sanders. Period. And Dylan Gabriel is not the answer. Hell, he shouldn't have been playing this long. But when you have a head coach like Kevin, who's acting racist, who's acting irresponsible, because the head coach supposed to be a leader of the team and supposed to put the best talent to put your team in the best position to win. And when you choose ignorance, you get stuff like this. Then when you have an ignorant ass owner who comes out and said it was not my response to pick Shedeur Sanders. Basically what you're saying is you didn't want Shedeur Sanders publicly, but he's on your team. You didn't want him, but he's on your team. And the man has not even played one game in an NFL regular season. But Dylan Gabriel has. He's been given all the opportunities in practice to play with the first team, all the opportunities to start. And we all know, anybody with common sense know that Dylan Gabriel should not have been drafted earlier than Shedeur Sanders.
So, but that is like, you should probably be running in that spot.
Yeah.
Probably.
But definitely you have to throw it to somebody.
Have to. It doesn't
and
matter
give
if you
them a
just
chance.
chuck it up for
Right,
grabs.
you
It's irrelevant.
beg for PI or the ball to get tipped up
Yeah.
and somebody else catches it that's not supposed to.
Do you think that the receivers are frustrated?
Oh, no doubt.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're frustrated in general, right? And it's been a frustrating season. I don't put week one on the kicker. I put it on the 2 interceptions that came on passes that went off the hands.
Mhm.
And Jerry Jeudy finally looked like an NFL receiver last
Yeah,
week, and they
best
lost.
game,
Right?
yeah.
It wasn't a perfect game by him.
No.
It wasn't a perfect game by the quarterback. I think that was part of what was better, right? Let's get Jeudy the ball in favorable positions. They saw some coverages. They threw underneath to him. They got him going. You want him to catch it with room to run. Catching it's been a struggle.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to sometimes you can win 20-17. And if you're going to win this week, that's your blueprint. Maybe 16-15, maybe 10-9, right?
Yeah.
But like if you're only getting to this point mark, if you're only you're just hitting the ceiling, and that's what they've done. No one puts all the blame on Dylan, right? No one knows for sure if there's a better alternative. But Dylan's numbers are worst or second worst in the league in every single category.
Everything.
And that it has nothing to do with the numbers. It matches what we see.
Right. Right.
Oh.
Absolutely. What's crazy to me is, like, you think about it. You have the best defensive player in the league on your D line. Your rookie linebacker is a big favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Your top corner is maybe the best corner in the league, certainly top 5 in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an absolute superstar at all 3 levels.
And Grant Delpit is playing, to me, some of the best football he's played.
Absolutely. It's his
He's
best
playing
season.
great,
Yes.
and you're getting good play throughout the defensive line.
Malik
So the
Collins has
fact-
been great. Mason Graham has not been
Right.
great every game, but he's been great in a few of them. Yes.
Like, it's the Browns' offense only needs to be mediocre for them to be a legit, maybe not a team that can win the Super Bowl, but a team that can be a playoff team. And it's just so far from mediocre that they're not even close to being a playoff.
We've been talking since October 1st
Yeah.
about if you just float along and just beat the Jets, that you set up, you're still alive in
Right.
mid-November. It's a bad product across the division,
Yeah.
across the league, but they could have been alive. Instead, now it's like, well, at least you're still alive for the number 1 pick, because they wouldn't have been if they'd have won last week.
That's true.
But again, however you look at it, whatever excuse you make, this is going to be 2 straight 3-win seasons. And you have an offensive head coach, and you have a front office that obviously made a huge mistake and had a chance this year to at least show they're moving forward. And there's some good rookies, but
Yes.
this doesn't feel like a rebuild.
No.
No, it just feels like bad football all
Yes.
over again, because the
Absolutely.
offensive numbers are
Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what he's saying. This starts with the head coach. This is bad football. This is bad football, and it starts with the head coach. If you have Brian Daboll, who got fired with the New York Giants, tell me why Kevin still has a job. Why Kevin still has a job? Because what he's clearly has shown is even worse than what Brian Daboll has done. Kevin has clearly shown you that he only want to do things his way. He doesn't want to put the best talent in the best position to win. Then you have Joe Flacco goes and flourish down in Cincinnati. Then you have the coach wants to prop up Dylan Gabriel like he's the best quarterback since sliced bread. The boy can't even play. The boy is straight garbage. You have high school quarterbacks that can play better than him. You have college quarterbacks that can play better than him. Currently, he's putting on a nasty display of where he can't play NFL quarterback in the National Football League. He cannot play. And then I heard Cam Newton. He made a statement on his platform talking about Dylan Gabriel. If you think that Shedeur Sanders is going to come in and do better than Dylan Gabriel, you crazy. This is what I have to say about Cam Newton.
The offensive product
This is what I have to say.
Again.
I disagree with Cam Newton wholeheartedly. You mean to tell me that Shedeur Sanders cannot outperform Dylan Gabriel? That's what you're telling me? Because that's what I'm hearing exactly from your words. Now, you want to try to say because of the talent around him. Let me tell you something, man. You don't get no brownie points because we're waving this white flag talking about you don't have no talent. You're making excuses for Dylan Gabriel. We're seeing in full 1080p, 4K, or 2K is that this dude is failing to see the open players on the field. That has nothing to do about the talent. There are guys that are open. When the blitz come, he panics. Let me say that again. When the blitz come, and it's on tape, he panics. He looks the wrong way. You heard what this guy had said, Zach Jackson. You heard what he said. When the blitz come, he panics. He misreads the defense. He overthrows players. Talent like that will drain your team. And also, Cam has made several hating comments, in my opinion, about Shedeur Sanders, man. He can say all he wants. He's entitled to his opinion, but I have disagreed on his take of Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur Sanders have all the respect from me to give Cam Newton the cold shoulder because it wasn't warranted. I wouldn't like dealing with Cam Newton if you say some negative stuff about me that I don't like. That's what men do. Regardless, suck it up. I don't have to like you and you don't have to like me. Period. That's life. But you move on. But let's don't sit here and give Dylan Gabriel some excuses because it starts with the head coach. He says Dylan Gabriel's name all the time, but he doesn't even mention Shedeur's name not even one time. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Yes.
And again, you have these defensive standouts. You have one more than last year. One and a half. The Dolphins definitely having a better year. But where do you think this is going? Right?
Right.
The best players on this team are still the older guys, with the exception of Schlesinger.
Yeah.
Right. And the offense is still unwatchable.
Right.
If the Browns end up with the number one pick, do they have to take Fernando Mendoza?
I mean, him or Ty Simpson, probably. Do you have to take a quarterback in that situation? Sure. Dane Brugler, who I trust. The best tackle is number 10 on his early list. That doesn't mean you couldn't take him, right? But you would probably, in this situation, have to take the quarterback. And then that would open up the whole rest of your draft.
They trade the pick, wouldn't they?
Well, if if the quarterback is that good, you would have to take him. Not
What
give
does
him
Dane
away.
think about these quarterbacks?
He's worried. He's not-
Every time, which I can understand.
well, and look, and Ty
Yeah.
Simpson's on the charge. He's got 13 career starts,
Yeah,
or 13 career appearances. I think he's going to have 13 by the end of the year. Depending on how long they go.
Right. Right.
Boy.
Right. In Mendoza, he graduated from Cal in 3 years.
Yeah.
He played pretty high level football. He's obviously playing a super high level this year. Like he is kind of asserting himself. But everybody else is a project. And all the senior quarterbacks have flopped. Klubnik, Nussmeier. Now there's different reasons in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tyvus, this could go a million different ways, and we will have this conversation a million different times. But if you have the number one pick, you almost have to take the quarterback, and then it's open from there.
Sorry, Keith. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm sorry I haven't got in there quick enough because it's all right. Let me wrap my head around this. Okay, if they drafting a quarterback, right, and because they got the first pick, are these guys the one drafting that quarterback?
To me, no. To me, there's no chance. We've been over it. What's your resume? Deshaun Watson and Dylan Gabriel.
There's no way that
That's
it's
right.
the new.
No way I trust them.
Yeah.
Like so. The second part of that question is, I can't help but feel a level of tension, air of from the outside looking in. It, at one point in time, it felt like everybody was saying the same, beating to the same drum. But now I don't kind of see that. I see that, one guy likes one quarterback. There's people who obviously drafted another quarterback that they said they're going to see him. Deep Podesta decides to take a job. Maybe that was hey, you might want to go find something because we might not bring it back type deal. And the general manager ain't speaking. I mean, Are these guys kumbaya like they used to tell us all the time?
I don't think so. I mean, it's going to be 6 wins in 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's the main discussion point, right? Let me throw this at you. Do you want to take one at one, or do you want to trade pick 34 for Mac Jones and go forward that way?
Trey, what pick?
Pick 34. Your top of your second round.
Why
pick.
I got to be that one?
Because he's under contract for making no money. So why wouldn't someone else want him? Why couldn't you? Why would the Niners just take a third? Why wouldn't they just ask for more? They're probably going to ask for pick 14.
I'm gonna tell them kick rock.
Okay. Then you got to take one.
You want to trade a first round pick for Mac Jones?
No, I'm saying you want to take.
Yeah, no.
The starting point's going to be the top of that second.
Or Kyler Murray. Well,
Definitely not
I
Kyler
ain't
Murray.
taking.
I like Kyler Murray better than Mac Jones, but I don't want him either.
Here's what I'm going to say.
You like Kyler Murray back?
Better than Mac Jones.
It's the same thing as Dylan. It's just
he's at least with Kyler Murray, you can be mediocre.
Listen here, man. Listen here. I'm not here for all the what ifs. Kyler Murray. Because let me tell you something. Kyler Murray has been playing like straight garbage, straight trash. Get my boy Shedeur Sanders an opportunity. Because far as I know, this is disrespectful. You have a great talent that's on the sideline that's waiting for his opportunity. Is not getting a fair opportunity to play football. His dream. And you got people that have been in high positions with some power that have been trying to take his dream away from him. See, this is not a game. We're talking about the game of football, but this is not a game. It's based off on what has happened to the Sanders family. The disrespect, the collusion, the dishonesty, the racist, sly comments. This is America. We see what's going on in America right now. The racism. This is something that goes on every day as we as Black people have to fight and have to look over our shoulder, have to keep pushing. And sometimes, quite frankly, we get tired. We get tired. And quite frankly, sometimes pressure busts a pipe where you want to bust somebody's ass. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That's how it gets as we as Black people. And don't get me started as we as Black men. The level of trauma, the level of pressure, the level of systematic racism that we have to deal day in and day out. And then come home and we got to put on a facade. We got to put on this other type of face, this other type of personality, like everything is okay. No, it's not. Because we have to fight for everything we get. And that's the America that we in. So I take this very seriously when you're talking about Shedeur Sanders, because I saw a young black man waiting for his dreams to come true. All of that hard work him and his father put in to be put in that position. And then on that dream, on draft day, you had some white men that colluded together, the NFL owners, and allegedly, I have to say this, but they came together to try to buck break a black man off systematic racism. Period. I don't care if you don't like it because it's my opinion. But anybody with common sense understands and knows what exactly went on that draft day. And it should not have happened. But it happened because they wanted to prove a point.
You can't make the case for Kyler Murray here.
No.
He's too small. He's busted. He makes too much money. Mac Jones makes the minimum contract.
Agreed.
That's
I'm
why
just
he's going to
saying,
get traded.
I think he's a better quarterback than Mac Jones. I'm not saying trade.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
But he's not going to succeed.
But I don't
here.
want him either. I don't want him either.
And I'm not saying Mac Jones is going to succeed. I'm just throwing out this scenario.
So
right, I got you.
So if that scenario, hey, listen, Jimmy, let me talk to you real quick. If that's the scenario, big dog, listen, after this Ravens game, hey, the risk got to be up. All right, we ain't got no time to be talking about more time and give him an opportunity. And that 160 game, Shedeur Sanders might be in this game against the Raiders. Because if we moving that way that fast, and it's Mendoza or Simpson, I need a 5, 6, 7 game runway. I got to see him play immediately. I'm done looking at the rest of this stuff then.
Can I ask Zach a question real quick on what you just said?
No, you can't.
Thank you. We kind of discussed this in layman's terms and on the perimeters earlier in the week, but I heard Mary Kay on the radio this morning. She was on with Ken and Lima, and they asked her, have you heard from any players clamoring for Shedeur behind the scenes, like calling for him?
Listen to this.
I'm just curious, you're there as much as anyone else. Have you heard any? She said no, by the way.
No, I have not heard that. And Lima's been beating that drum, right? Like,
right.
It's a fair question because you do hear that generally. But I think people have hit the wall. No, I think what I heard was the frustration about the defense, the penalties last week, and the obvious frustration about the special teams.
Yeah.
But like you just look, he's not a developmental quarterback right now. He's a quarterback who's hit the wall. Right? You have your picture painted of who Dylan Gabriel is because he has done nothing but go backwards since that first game.
That's right.
He is overmatched. And the numbers say that, and the eye test says it, and the reality says that he always was. But they put him out here. They rushed him in. They didn't do him any favors. They're not doing him any favors with this receiving core. But it's very clear. He is not going to be an NFL quarterback. And that has been the case since the spring.
And that's why I can't listen to this Shedeur Sanders is not ready. Because even if he's not, neither is Dylan Gabriel. So just play him.
Yeah.
And if he stinks, he stinks.
Well, it's so bad that the argument automatically takes off in a different direction.
And lose some weight.
Those two are not really.
Shut up and lose some weight. If he stinks, he stinks. Shut up and lose some weight. See, I don't play that type of game. I don't play that type of game. See, on my platform, I'm calling out like I see it. I don't play that type of game because I know with his fat ass, he wasn't saying none of that stuff about Dylan Gabriel. If he come in, if he stinks, he stinks. Nah, you was talking about what we've heard coming out of Cleveland Browns organization. He's a super computer. He's a super processor. Hey, let's give him an opportunity. Shedeur Sanders hasn't gotten his opportunity. You talking about if he stinks, he stinks. Shut up. You look like you stink.
Related. Like, was Dylan ready to play? Sure. He just can't do it. With Shedeur, it's totally different.
Yeah, that's true.
And like we have said, maybe the one way out, because we're talking about Mac Jones here 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. All right. Maybe the one way out is for Shedeur to be the answer, for Shedeur to be the starter.
Right.
Oh, why not number 4?
Because we've seen him play. He's made 19 starts here in Cleveland.
He's making a comeback.
I don't think so. I still am.
He's not going to play.
I still be very surprised if he's on the field.
It's the Browns, so you never know.
The door is open.
Yeah.
And can I debunk it? Can I? This talking point got to die too.
What's that?
The whole, if somebody would have saw him play and the players would have seen him, somebody would have been saying something. Name being the last player that jumped on record when a reporter said, "Hey, what do you think about the quarterback?"
Well, not on record. Nobody's going to say something on record.
Here's,
Guys could be saying something off the record.
Hey, listen, I don't know how many. So let me just tell you.
Last time a backup got any recognition for being good and should be playing was Brock Purdy. When he was a rookie.
There's more recent.
How
many? Back to Joe Flacco in 2023, we were hearing about in practice he was tearing up. Jason came in was like, these dudes won't stop talking about how Joe Flacco torched this defense.
Maybe I gotta just stand. Do I gotta do backflips off this table?
Yes.
Because I done told you multiple times on this show.
Yes.
I said my phone went off the hook last week.
Listen to this.
I don't even know these folks. They're like, listen, we tired of seeing this. We're tired.
Players?
Yes.
Okay.
We're tired. And by the way, I keep trying to, these ain't no special teamers. You do the math. It ain't special teams dudes running down on kickoff.
I hear you. So, I don't.
So here's the thing. The reality of the situation is it ain't up to the players to decide who it is.
Exactly.
The decision is on Kevin Stefanski to play the guy who gives you an opportunity to do something. And we've obviously seen that he's not the dude. We've seen it, but we have to sit here and pretend. Why are we pretending?
Are we?
Yeah, no, we're not pretending. We're not pretending. Some people are pretending.
Yeah, some people are.
Some people still pretending. But no, I'm talking about. I'm not talking. I'm talking about in a bigger picture.
I think it's a small percentage of people that are pretending at this point.
Look, I played in the first preseason game on a Friday night, right? And then the next week they went to Philly for the biggest part of the training camp, and he got hurt. He did not participate that week.
Right.
Then he played the next week and he flopped. So he did not do himself any favors because that's when development ends, right? Immediately you're into season mode. And they traded away Kenny Pickett and they chose Dylan Gabriel. Now they went off their own timeline. They traded Flacco, benched Flacco 6 weeks before they ever wanted to, or at least 2 weeks before they ever wanted to. But here we are, and there's no developing going on. He's flopped. He's done.
Yeah.
Right. So it's time. It's time for Shedeur. And if Shedeur not ready, then a part of it is on them. But
that's right.
The timeline that should to pretend that Shedeur has any trajectory is it's that he doesn't. No, Shedeur.
Oh, I see. Yeah, right.
He was they benched him in the preseason.
Yeah, right.
Did not let their own draft pick run a 2-minute drill against the Rams' fourth teamers.
So is there an agenda here beyond?
I mean, to me, agenda is a strong word, and I don't think so.
Okay.
Like, do I think the situation's just awful? And they're all sunk. Sure, but an agenda to keep him out, I don't see.
So
that.
then, if unless Dylan Gabriel shocks us and plays well against Baltimore, you feel like he has to play the next week.
Coming out of the bye week, I thought he's got 8 quarters left. Yeah,
right.
4 of them are
got to.
This is crazy. This is crazy. From epic proportions. I like what G. Bush said. See, you gotta look at it. He has said this, and G. Bush has been on record for several times, but stating the fact that there have been players hitting up his phone. You see, what's going on is that you got players that don't want to lose their jobs. You got players that's on that Cleveland Browns team that do not want their job to be in jeopardy. What I mean by that, you ever heard of situations when, we as Black people, on corporate America, and you're being treated unfairly, or there's a fellow Black person who you call a friend or someone that's an associate, and you see that they're getting lied on by a white supervisor, and yet that Black person doesn't want to say anything because they're trying to keep their job. That's what's going on here. See, I never was a person like that. I've always been a person, when I used to work in corporate America, is to speak up for injustices, for people who do not have a voice or who do not want to speak up for themselves. Now there comes a time and a place that when you're a man or when you're a woman, you got to picture, you gotta pull your big girl panties up, or you gotta pull your big draws up, dude, and you gotta speak up for yourself, man. That's a part of being an adult. Not just a man, but an adult. You gotta speak up for yourself because nobody else is gonna speak up for you. You can't expect for nobody else to speak up for you. But this is a situation where I see often too many times, where you have black people that are scared to speak up for themselves, and they're scared to speak up for others, and they're scared to speak up when they see injustice that is happening, whether it's in companies or right now as we see as far as with sports organizations. When you saw that photograph of Jerry Jones when he was a kid, he was, remember that they showed it on ESPN? He was one of the white kids that was part of the racism that was going on. And you see who Jerry Jones is now, a billionaire. I say that to say this, and listen to me very carefully on what I'm about to say. That's why I don't play around with a lot of white folk. Now, I'm not saying all white people are racist, but that's why I don't play around with a lot of white folk. I have a no-nonsense mentality already in life. But you don't think a lot of those white people like Jerry Jones that are kids, they ain't dead. You got a lot of them that are white judges. You got a lot of them that are white doctors. You got a lot of them that are white teachers. You got a lot of them that are white cops. And you don't think they're carrying that systematic racism in their roles and positions in life as adults? You don't think so? Yes, they are. I'm telling you, they are. This is why you got to stay woke. This is why I don't play that game. This is why I take life seriously. I take conversations seriously. And when I see things, what I saw, what happened to Shedeur Sanders, this is a game. This is not a game. This is a travesty, because it happens in life too, to a lot of black people. You see it, what's going on now. All you got to do is just flip on the switch, turn on your TV, and watch the news. You got a lot of people getting locked up for unnecessary shit. You got a lot of people there, they're getting lied on. You got a lot of people that are white and in power, and they're sitting here saying is, okay, you can't make it because you're black. You're a minority. And the only reason why you was even looked at is because of DEI. That's how a lot of them feel about you. And that's how they feel about Shedeur Sanders. It's real. It's not a game. This is real. Real stuff. So just think about that next time, man. That's why I speak so real about things like this, man. That's why I cover things like this. That's why I cover the Shedeur Sanders. Because I understand how it feels. I understand how you have to keep a strong head on your shoulders to keep from doing something stupid. I understand how it feels that you got to keep your head up from doing something stupid or retaliating. And sometimes when you do retaliate, you got to be smart. You got to play chess and not checkers. And that's what Shedeur Sanders is doing right now. The rejected will be respected. Believe that. The rejected will be respected. Believe that. And it's going to happen sooner than later. They can try to create all type of false narratives. They can try to say everything what they want to try to say. They can try to do all the type of pitfalls to try to get him to act out of characters. Because I'm telling you, y'all know some jokers that'll try to do that. Y'all know them clowns will try to do that. They try to get you to trip up. They try to get you to say something. They're like bees, always trying to get on your nerves. trying to break you, buck break you mentally. And some of these blue collar workers, if you're a black man and you're a blue collar worker, they'll try to break you physically too as well. This is why I always say you got to stay woke. You got to stay woke and protect yourself at all times. Get yours, because you guarantee they're going to get them. It's not a game. It's not a game. I appreciate all my supporters for listening in on this live stream, man. Y'all know I'm gonna be coming with some more heat, some more information, and it's this life, y'all. It's not a game. Y'all stay tuned to the next episode, man. Y'all take care.